Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Welcome. I'm just going over my training log, so I'm trying to track a little bit better. And what's really funny too is, so if you look at this, like here was my last back day. All this stuff, and these are all straight sets, right? It's nothing like, here's my chest day. They're all fairly mild, and all these are like just straight sets, right? And I get a lot of people or clients or something like that that want this like super crazy, like in-depth, varied fucking training protocol because they're like, I'm not getting sufficient workouts and stuff like that, which I understand to an extent. I'll throw in like some drop sets, cluster sets, kind of like mess around with things. I call them sets or set manipulations, right? You have your drop sets, your cluster sets, isometric holds, that sort of stuff. But something to be said about being able to work with just the absolute fucking basics without having to try to like spice it up with this like specialized training program, at least in bodybuilding terms. Like, dude, majority of my training sessions, as we're gonna see like through my YouTube, are fairly simple, dude. And if there's anything crazy and if there's a lot of variation, it's more so just like helping to educate like differences in my training. If it was just me, like without YouTube camera and stuff like that, it would be pretty fucking boring. I might do a little bit here and there, but the main thing is really getting really good at the form and the movements themselves and being able to contract that muscle and that neurological connection and just progressive overload. Like, there's not enough to be said for that, right? The simplicity of it. And the problem is like, it's not sexy, right? We all, myself included, we almost want this like complex sort of like program or exercise.
It looks like you're all scientific.
Yeah. And it's like, it makes it like, oh, okay, here's a different way. And we see on Instagram and YouTube there being like different machines, or you'll see a coach or a trainer coming up with a new variation or a whole new fucking exercise or way to do things and trying to like reinvent the wheel. But like I've said before, in my mind, peak bodybuilding was in the 90s into the 2000s, right? If we have gotten better since then, it's been so small, to such a small degree, that it's like we pretty much figured everything out. So everything nowadays is almost like,
I think it's been the technology, like with stuff like the Newbie.
This stuff like this, the technology,
And like studies with like sauna, red light, cold.
Yes.
Like, I think that's been the big changes.
dude,
Versus
and that's I would say that sort of stuff. Like, I'm a big fan of like the biohacking sort of thing, where we're sort of figuring out ways to optimize our performance, right? But I don't think that there's been anything like in regards to like bodybuilding, right? I don't think there's been anything like groundbreaking, right? Like I said, Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman, has there ever been a better bodybuilder since then? No, it's been 20 years, right? Where there's been bodybuilders almost to that extent, but look at those guys. Those guys got by off of very, basic movements, free weights, a little bit of machines, but pushing heavy weight, pushing food, taking the necessary drugs. I would argue they probably took less drugs then than they do now. But that's a whole nother story. So my whole point of my whole rant is really, try to get better at the foundational stuff, right? And just working that progressive overload. And really, are you feeling the tension in the movement, right? So if you're doing a chest movement, like, are you fully contracted in that movement, right? And are you getting under it the maximum load that you can? And are you going heavy enough, but not too heavy, right? So, and that's where Logbook comes into play, is you can track all of this data. So I can see, okay, this is what I lifted this week. Okay, can I lift either more weight or more reps, right? With the same amount of weight, right? And progressive overload that. But once again, that's not sexy. So I think our brains naturally go the shiny new objects syndrome, right? We want something new, we want it flashy, we want, these guys, like all these intricate fucking changes and stuff like that. The more that we shift away from that and just focus on getting really good at hammering in on the fundamentals, the better we're going to get. And that's something that I've learned over time. There's something to be said, like if you want some variations and stuff like that, for sure. But don't get caught up on this like optimization kick, right? Maximize what you're doing. Don't worry about like trying to optimize right away, right? That's the problem, I think, like in modern society. I go on a whole nother rant of just like having to worry about optimizing things when you haven't even maximized that thing to its fullest potential before you start like making these like micro improvements on it. But anyway, I'm going on a fucking rant. Let's train some shoulders and let's train some fucking arms today. I'm feeling juicy, weights up, 235 today. Heaviest I've been in fucking a long time. My peak weight has been 242 last year. I dropped back down, pulled gear. Now we're back on, racked sauce back up. 1250 megs of testosterone, 600 milligrams of Masteron, and 600 milligrams of Nandrolone Decanate right now. So that's my drug stack. Also 3 IUs of growth, it fasted in the morning, 3 IUs of growth post-workout, and 3 IUs of growth when I go to bed. And then about 20 units of insulin a day, just around my highest carb meals. So that's basically it too. So eat your food, train hard, do the necessary drugs. Don't forget your water, kids. Actually, we were going to do delts and arms today, but I think we're going to do delts and chest because I want to try that new Panada press back there. Switch it up a little bit. These Panada machines are fucking amazing. So I've tried a handful of them. This one, there's a back machine they have over there at Armbrust that they got before I left. And you start up here and it comes out and then in there near the bottom. And it seems kind of wacky, but when you do it, it's fucking amazing. That's probably, I'm not a big fan of like a lot of newer machines and trying to like reinvent the wheel. But so far, the Panada guys, their machines are pretty solid. Like this one right here, I'm really excited about. You know, I'm very much old school, heavyweight, compound lifts, dumbbells, free weights, that sort of thing. But if there is like a really solid machine, I'll stick with that. But even with machines, probably my favorite machines are pretty old school plate loaded, like hammer strength machines. I don't like anything too crazy. I don't need like a lot of pulleys and a lot of different joints and stuff like that. But just personal preference. Like I said, I just like old school stuff for whatever my opinion's worth. I put on a little bit of muscle stuff. You know, Tato, it's really good when two people are on the same page with things. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice. So I stopped well before failure because I think probably put one more plate on here and we'll do a couple working sets at that weight. Pretty good chest pump so far. That motherfucker was not going on. I wanted it so bad, but it was like, nope. So yeah, so 2019, I won my first bodybuilding overall out here at the Salt City Showdown, which was what the Wasatch Warrior used to be. And I got my first overall win there in light heavyweight bodybuilding. When I'm standing up on stage and I'm like, they're taking pictures or whatever, presenting the overall, all of a sudden I see Jay Cutler like walking out to present the trophy. And dude, I didn't even know he was there because it was like at FitCon. And I knew he was at FitCon, but I didn't know he'd be presenting a trophy. And like, Jay Cutler's obviously one of my favorite bodybuilders. So I see him and I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Be cool, dude, fucking play it cool. I'm fangirling super hard. Comes out, brings me the trophy. And he's like, hey man, you look great, great conditioning. He's like, you fucking rocked it out there, good job. And I was like, thanks Jay. I was like, I'll see you at your show next weekend. His show is the next week in the Salt, or not, the Jay Cutler Desert Classic in Vegas, literally 7 days later. He's like, oh yeah? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, let's get the pictures and then come talk to me backstage. And I was like, oh fuck, okay. So we get our pictures, we'll go backstage, we're chopping her up. He's like, you're coming to do my show next weekend? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, come looking like this, great condition, great shape. If you come like this, you'll probably win the overall. And he's like, if you win the overall at my show, I'll also interview you for my YouTube channel, Jay Cutler TV. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. I was like, I'll fucking see you there, dude. So the next weekend, I go out to Vegas, go do that show. I was actually 2 pounds lighter. I fucking died for that extra week. And I was like that much more conditioned, pretty flat, but still pretty shredded. And get out there. And I remember backstage at like pre-judging, he like looks, he's like across the room, right? We're in the big room with all the competitors and stuff like that. And he's like, I remember, I'd never forget it. He was like in this 3-piece purple suit, dude. And he's like just fucking massive in this suit. And he looks over and he's looking around, and then he looks at me, he's like, does one of those. I'm like, oh yeah, dude. And so go out, get the trophy, and then I took the overall there. And then we go back, and I go back outside and find him, and he says to Dave, his video guy, he's like, Dave, this is the guy I was telling you about. This is the guy I was telling you about from last weekend at Salt Lake Show. And his video guy, Dave, is like, oh yeah, yeah. So I'm like, oh fuck, Dave's been talking about. Dude, it's like super fangirl. Literally one of the best experiences I've ever had. And so we do the little interview, and literally like the most chill, cool, like just bro dude. Like you would never think that this is one of the best bodybuilders of all time. Just the way that he's like just super humble, just a fucking straight, just like a normal bro out of the gym. Like just super kind, humble. And literally like that experience was probably one of like the best experiences of like my entire bodybuilding. Dude, I could go pro even if I were to go to Olympia one day. That would still probably top everything, because that was like actually kept me in bodybuilding, like the compliments that Jay gave me and like how fucking cool he was. And even to this day, dude, if I see him, I've seen him at expos. He's come out here for like the Wasatch Warrior. He came in like 2021 and literally remembered me by name, came and walked up to me and like does not forget, dude. I don't know, for like a small time bodybuilder like me, like that's a fucking huge deal. And that's always been something that I've gone back to and I think about a lot, because I was like almost at a time that I was almost kind of questioning and doubting my own like bodybuilding sort of endeavors. But after that experience, dude, it like completely changed, you know. And so yeah, kind of a cool story. Definitely like helped motivate me the ongoing years and gave me a little bit more like belief in myself and kind of kept me going. So kind of cool little snippet. More of the story, dude, just be fucking cool, be humble, treat people like they have the saying, treat the CEO the same as you do the janitor or whatever, you know. Facts. And Jay's like the perfect example of that. And that's why you probably will never hear anybody say anything negative about Jay Cutler. You will be very hard pressed. Everybody has their opinions about everybody, but Jay is probably one of the very few dudes that nobody will have anything bad to say about him. And if they do, you probably will question their character over anything. Just miscalculating my strength a little bit on a good note. I'm stronger than I initially thought. I just barely started back up on my cycle, so I had like a good like 5 to 6 weeks where I wasn't taking shit. Not really planned for that, but just got super busy and you just fucking things fall by the wayside. Maintained okay, but now that we're back super sauced up, I feel fucking amazing. Not to promote fucking steroid use, but they kind of work and they kind of make you feel awesome. I gotta be completely honest with you. Kind of fucking awesome. I'm so excited. It is like the Viagra Cialis combo. If you can get them, you can get them. If you can't get them, find someone that can get them. Yeah, today's like one of those days that I feel so good. I just want to fucking go.
Train every body part.
Fuck, dude, I'm ready to go. Everything felt really fucking good today. That was spot on. Probably one of my best training sessions that I've had in a long time. Everything fired great, pump feels good, strong, hard contractions, no pains or aches or anything anywhere. Did enough, didn't do too much, like everything was right in the sweet spot. So we'll conclude with that. Yeah, strength is definitely up for sure. Everything was pretty much just all straight sets. Nothing crazy. Yeah, that's my thing. My workouts aren't anything that's gonna be super extravagant or not gonna do any crazy shit. I might throw something in there here and there just to kind of spice things up. I might try to think of like maybe cool little set manipulations or drop sets, cluster sets or whatever. But yeah, I mean, that was a pretty straightforward delt and like pretty much front delt and chest. There's always one way to skin, more than one way to skin a cat, right? So everybody's going to have their own view of like how to progress in terms of building muscle, getting lean, whatever, like in a bodybuilding world. For me, over all the years that I've trained, is really the progressive overload never goes out of style. The simple shit, really, there's something to be said about doing the fundamental things, right? How they talk about like Kobe or Michael Jordan, and like Kobe will come in hours before and shoot 1,000 free throws before fucking practice, something like that. Like focusing on like, so in the same sense, the fundamentals are very, very underrated, and we're always trying to find like these new ways to like optimize our training session, which is, it's okay to an extent, but 80 to 90% of your shit is going to be the stuff that you've already known for a long period of time. And so for me, it's kind of been the pendulum swinging back, right? Where initially I was wanted to do trying all these crazy things, and now I'm to the point where it's almost coming back to where I'm shooting more towards the simpler stuff. My free weight, heavy movements, compound, and just training and getting myself under, you know, weight that's heavy, but we can control it, right? And so just take some experimentation. And, you know, I've done a lot of high volume stuff, and then I've done like low volume, high intensity, all the above, you know. And there might be some days where I come in and I do super high volume and I train completely different than I do today. You know, I think the majority of it is personal preference. Come in and train in whatever style that's going to make you train with the most intensity. You know, worry about the optimization thing like dead fucking last. Just do whatever you enjoy training. That's what we're here for. So even if you're a competitor, your entire reason that you became a bodybuilder was probably because you enjoyed training so much. You know, you didn't, I don't know, I saw it on somebody's post. You didn't become a bodybuilder, or you didn't start training to become a bodybuilder. You became a bodybuilder because you love training, right? And a lot of people have that flip. So, you know, just do whatever is going to push intensity and what feels the best and what makes you come in here and enjoy it the most. Because the more that you come in here and enjoy it, the harder you're going to fucking push. And so that's my little philosophy spiel for the day. Train hard, eat food, take your drugs. That doesn't flow well. We'll figure it out, something like that. But until next time, guys, thank you. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all of the good shit like that. So we're out.